wearing wigs and makeup to impersonate NFL players to get loans up to $20 million in total, about 13 different loans. That's what Luther Davis, former Alabama football player, is accused of, and in fact will plead guilty with a partner of his next week, April 27th, as reported by The Guardian and other news outlets recently that we published on Thunder Intel, where Luther Davis and CJ Evins is the other person's name, cooked up this scheme, created fraudulent documents of everything of 3 NFL players, I'll get to them in a second, to apply for loans where, athletes can get financing kind of in a, when they're in the off season, they don't get paid, so they need money sometimes, or whenever they need it. Either way, they can get loans based on who they are, what they do, and so forth. So these guys pretended to be these athletes, fake driver's license, bank statements, tax returns, bank accounts, everything. And when they did the video interviews to verify, to go over any final, things for closing the loans, they wore wigs, they wore makeup. Luther Davis, it doesn't say that CJ Evins was one of the ones doing the video interviews, but Luther Davis for sure. So Njoku, he had dreads at one point in time. Michael Penix wore like a do-rag during, mostly every game he was playing in. So they wear these things to do these interviews, and they got away with it for a period of time, from May of 2023 to middle of 2024. They finally got caught, and now they're looking at conspiracy to commit wire fraud up to 20 years and aggravated identity theft. So this is not on the players, it's not on the brokers or lenders, although, one can kind of say like, all right, well, where were your checks and balances? But there's fraudsters everywhere, and they do a lot of different things, and they're obviously good at what they were doing. But it's a reminder, right? It's for brokers and lenders, and even for merchants out there, like, oh, why do I have to go through all this to verify my identity? This is a reminder of why. Even though this is 2 to 3 years ago, and AI's come a long way, AI obviously maybe played a role back then, and then maybe it could have detected something back then, right? In the identity, in the facial recognition, something that tools are being used now, maybe it could have played a part 2 to 3 years ago. Either way, it's a reminder. Put these tools in place. If you're a lender, if you're a broker, go through all your your checklist of items to make sure this person is who they say there is, and that there are still, today, that this is 2 or 3 years ago, but today they're just adapting and getting more tech savvy. So really hard reminder. And again, these are all victims. The players are victims, the brokers are victims, and the lenders are victims.